Hey, welcome. This is the Linda Cohn Show. Thank you for tuning in. First and foremost, I just glanced at my channel to see the escalation, the skyrocketing of subscribers. We have hit over the 4,000 mark. So thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing and actually, listening to me. I asked you to, and you did it. So I'm so happy. And spread the word, really, because we're going to grow, and we're going to continue to have fun. And there's a lot to talk about. But I wanted to say thank you. I'm very grateful. This is just so much fun for me. So I'm so glad you're a part of it. And you know how I want you to be a part of it? Remember, start thinking of questions. If you haven't already, write it in that chat box. And my good friend Dominic will read a bunch of them at the end of the show. And that's going to be great, okay? Because then I can answer your questions. And I look forward to that. I definitely do. Michelle Beadle's coming up. She is my guest. And let me tell you, a laugh fest. That's all I'm going to say. That is my tease. But that's a happy thing. But I want to start the show with something I've been dying to chat about. And I finally have this opportunity because this platform. And it's the ESPN layoffs. The ESPN layoffs were awful. You hate to see anybody lose their job, right? Doesn't matter what they do for a living. Big corporation, if you work for a big corporation, you're usually blindsided. It's just the way it is. It's not fair. You never paid your worth. It's not fair. But it doesn't matter what you do for a living. It's all bad. When you're laid off, when you're fired, when your salary's cut, when you have to think, what do I do now? Well, the ESPN layoffs, that was awful. What made it even worse, if that could be possible, was the way ESPN PR handled it or mishandled it. Because they treated everyone on this latest firing list with zero respect. Zero, beginning with Ryan Clark. It's been well documented now. You know the situation with Ryan. That whole PR debacle, PR nightmare could have been avoided if Ryan Clark was alerted. How about the night before? And how about before he took the set for NFL Live? If you knew there were media outlets going to break the news and you were concerned about Ryan finding out by looking at his phone during the show, then why didn't you just tell him before the show, before he took the set? That is bumbling and fumbling. That buffoonery electrified this story in a negative way even more. The rippling effect of that mishandling of the Ryan Clark situation and why it got all the headlines, well-deserved headlines regarding the mishandling by ESPN and the way they went about it. What it did when I mentioned the rippling effect, how about everybody else? They became an afterthought. Everyone was writing and talking about on social media Ryan Clark, as they should have been, because that was embarrassing. But people like Carl Ravitch, who had been with the company for 33 years, who built basically Baseball Tonight, who was the main man of ESPN's baseball coverage for over 3 decades, he became an afterthought. How about David Lloyd? David Lloyd is one of the SportsCenter anchors I work with for a couple of years. We did a show during the afternoon, did a SportsCenter show. Great guy, great human, great talent, great interviewer, great writer. He became an afterthought. And all the others that were let go were like, oh, by the way, this one doesn't have their job anymore. And this one doesn't have their job anymore. But let's get back to Ryan Clark. ESPN brought that on itself. It's still a big deal. You still hate to see this, but it was worse because of how ESPN handled it. And I was really disappointed in that. First and foremost, I felt sorry for those who were treated the way they were. How about the over 150 people behind the scenes that were let go? They have their own story. Just because they're not on TV, it doesn't mean their stories aren't as significant. And they weren't blindsided. Just like Carl Ravitch, Ryan Clark, Bart Scott, Stefania Bell, Charles Davis, Tom Pelissero, on and on, Cam Newton, on and on. But this really bothered me, the way ESPN treated these people. No dignity, no respect. So we all are looking, who's responsible for this? Why is ESPN laying off so many people year after year? It's become an annual event. Well, because they have to pay their bills, right? The business has changed. It's not about the talent and paying them and the studio shows anymore for ESPN. It hasn't been that way for a few years now. It is about paying the bills. It is about rights fees. It is about competition with streaming services to get the best leagues on their air, to get the best events on their air and outbid everybody. And where are you going to get the money? ESPN has to pay billions to the NFL now, billions to the NFL network. They pay for college football. They pay for their NBA rights. NHL is not as much, but they still have to pay the bills there. This is what happens. This is our business. So what I had a problem with, and I know you guys wanted to blame Pat McAfee, and I know you wanted to blame Stephen A. Smith. And I can see where you're saying that because I know Pat McAfee is the highest paid on ESPN. But this is part of the changing world. Don't put it on Pat. Don't put it on Stephen A. They make a lot of money. I get that. I know. I don't know what that's like, but that's okay. They asked for the money, and guess who paid them? The ESPN bosses, Disney. They paid their salary. They'd agreed to this $60 million a reported contract for Pat McAfee. Kudos to him. He asked, they paid it. Same with Mike Greenberg, Scott Van Pelt, two of the higher paid anchors and personalities on ESPN. Their representation asked for $7 million a year. Guess what? ESPN paying them that much, reportedly. So I don't blame them. That narrative is dumb. That's not the reason. It's ESPN having to pay these bills and living in a world in this broadcasting field in sports where you have to compete. And they don't want to be left behind. ESPN does not want to be left behind. Hey, they already got their eyes on the World Cup in 4 years. Seriously. And remember, they have the Super Bowl this year. So there are a lot of things that are on their mind. What do you think about it? You think I'm on track? You think I'm on the right track? I mean, I know how that place works. But in conclusion on that, it's just sad the way they treated these people on their firing line. Those people, led by Ryan Clark and Carl Ravitch and David Lloyd, deserve more respect than they got. Yeah, I shake my head. Okay. Not as serious, but let's talk about the New York Giants. That's right, the New York Giants. So you may or may not know this. In the last few days, there was a video out. See, the Giants have this cool thing. Their social media team has this cool thing. It's called Giants Live, or the bunch of videos they're putting out about the Giants as we, get into training camp and all this kind of stuff. So the Giants released this video that went viral. And the video was their new head coach, John Harbaugh, addressing his team. Roll it, Dominic.
Here, you excited?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
a little nervous?
Nope.
Huh? A little nervous? A little nervous, man. I'm nervous, excited nervous, Nervous like you're full of game almost, man. So get this thing kick off. Standing up here in front of the New York Giants. The New York Giants. This is a New York Giants sitting in this room. The New York Giants. Wow, it's an honor. It's an honor to stand in front of this room right now. And I know those coaches back there feel the same way, right, coaches?
Certainly are.
It's an honor, man. We've been working, haven't we? We've been working early and we were late getting ready for today. Today. Sitting in this chair, this seat, getting to work, getting started, our beginning. Because this is where it all begins, together.
Okay, I don't know about you, and I'm probably in the minority when it comes to watching that video, but I go with my first gut feeling. And my first gut feeling was like John Harbaugh, it felt like he was addressing college players or high school players, reminding them to be positive about playing for the team and the jersey that they're going to be wearing. The New York Giants. The New York Giants. These guys know they were here before John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh was the Baltimore Ravens head coach. Yes, he found success there. I think he should have won a couple more Super Bowls, but that's neither here nor there. He's excited. I give him that. As a Giants fan, I'm excited he is here and has brought the excitement. But if you're trying to get your players excited, yes, these are players that lack a lot of veterans. These are players, a lot of youth. These are players that probably, considering what they've been through the last couple of years, are in need of serious leadership by their head coach. Yes, this is all true. But if you're sitting there, and I noticed the body language by those players in that video, it wasn't great. I'm not saying they should go up and do a dance and say, yeah, coach, you're right. Yeah. But I didn't make me go through a wall. It's not inspiring me what he said. I really felt like, great. I'm glad my new head coach is excited to be here. But I, as a player, have been here. Coach, tell me how we're going to change the culture. Coach, tell me what I have to do and what this team has to do as a whole and what you're looking forward to doing for us. How do we change our culture and turn us into winners annually? That the Giants could become what the Ravens were under John Harbaugh, which were Super Bowl contenders almost every year. How can you do that, John? How can you do that, coach? But the way he said it, I mean, it reminded me of this, like when I was back at ESPN. It would be like, let's just say the former president of Fox Sports, okay, decided to leave his job at Fox, come to ESPN for a big raise, highly paid, and he's talking to all the ESPN talent and telling them, isn't this exciting? This is exciting. I'm at ESPN. You're at ESPN. Aren't you excited about being at ESPN? These people, my former colleagues, maybe they're not excited at the moment. Maybe they need a pep talk from someone that wasn't coming in from the outside who himself is excited to be there. Maybe I'm too critical, people, of John Harbaugh. There's nothing more that I want to see happen than John Harbaugh make the New York Football Giants winners and add the leadership that they need. He doesn't have to be rah, rah, rah. He doesn't have to be a player's coach. What I want him to be is don't talk down to these guys. These guys are grown men, and they were Giants before you, and they do know what it means to play for such a class organization. And I frown upon some of these analysts. I heard Stephen A. ripping the Giants. That bothered me. About the organization. It's a great organization. They're getting their act together. They hired a legit head coach for a change. But the message from that video, I don't know. Maybe I missed the point. What do you guys think? I don't know. But I was expecting something different. LeBron James. You know, it's been almost a month, LeBron. What's going on? We don't know where you're going. What's happening, LeBron? Yeah, you see him there in a Miami Heat uniform. That was crazy the other night. Crazy. I'm sitting doing nothing, probably on the couch with Babs, my dog, hanging out, relaxing. And then like X and social media is going crazy because the Miami Heat, they made a big boo-boo. That's right. On YouTube, they let out this like notice. They created this chaos. They accidentally posted a scheduled YouTube live stream titled LeBron James Introductory Press Conference set for July 27th, 2026. Wait, do they know something the world doesn't know? Well, it was quickly taken down. The Miami Heat said, oh, it was just a mistake. Sorry. Was it a mistake? What was that about? How do you make a mistake? Do you really need it to get everything ready and prepared for something that may not even happen? It doesn't take that long to put something like that up on YouTube if you find out in the last minute, Miami Heat social team, that LeBron was returning to the Miami Heat. You don't need to do that days in advance when you don't even know if it's going to happen. So I don't think it was just a mistake. Now, that doesn't mean, maybe some would say where there's smoke, there's fire, and LeBron James is indeed going back to Miami. But I don't think it was a mistake. I'm not sure if he is going back to Miami, but I do think it could be a PR stunt. A PR stunt maybe for Heat fans, by the Heat, for Heat fans, to get them excited as we wait on the decision by LeBron James. That, oh, by the way, it could happen again, that the decision ends with, I'm going to South Beach. I don't buy it. I just don't buy the mistake thing. I don't buy it. I don't buy it's a mistake. It doesn't make any sense to me. So if it's not Miami, I always felt Golden State, right? I'm still going to stick with my gut with Golden State. But then I find out Minnesota Timberwolves, they're very close. They were very close last season. Anthony Edwards, face of their franchise, and LaMelo Ball each reached out to LeBron James and say, please, LeBron, come to Minnesota. We'll make it worth your while. And then this is the part that did not get a lot of attention. I don't know if he's going to Minnesota. I don't think so. But this did not get a lot of attention. That the Cleveland Cavaliers, which of course, reportedly, many people think it's going to be either Cleveland or another team. Like Cleveland is in the final two. And also there's a report, I don't want to forget to say this, even though there are reports that deny it. All these insiders are saying this, saying that, but I'm here to tell you what they're saying. That LeBron cares about what Anthony Davis, what's his next move is going to be, where he's going to be traded, and what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving. Because, of course, he's one with both those guys, right? LeBron's camp denies that he's waiting around to see what those guys are doing and what teams are going to do and how they're going to fit those guys in. But I wouldn't put it past LeBron to be surrounded by guys that he loves, that he's won with, and love him. But back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, speaking of love, and they love him, of course, for good reason, because he was, that's his home. Their season tickets, right? Their season tickets. Usually now it's open for new subscribers for season tickets. If you want to buy Cleveland Cavaliers season tickets, the packages are publicly, out there where you can pick what you want, how many games, and how much it's going to cost. Well, here's what's really interesting, what's been going on while we wait for LeBron. The Cavaliers, and this is unheard of according to current Cleveland Cavaliers season ticket holders. The Cavaliers have put a pin in it, have paused their season ticket process, meaning you do not know, you cannot pick a package. If I wanted to go out and buy season tickets to the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, I could not look on their website and see, I want to do a 10-game spread or a 40-game spread or a 20-game, whatever it is, and I want to do it for this amount of money. They are not releasing that information. They have chosen not to do that. They don't explain why. They basically said you can make a deposit to hold your place in line for season tickets, but we cannot show you the packages and we will not show you the cost. Why are they doing that? Because if LeBron James goes home, goes back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, guess what? The Cavaliers then will release the price and the price will be skyrocketed. And you know what? They still will have no problem selling out those season ticket packages if LeBron James returns to Cleveland. So it's a work in progress. We are just waiting around. And I'm trying to figure out, it's hard to read LeBron's mind. Of course, listen, he can do what he wants. But he's looking for a spot in the sports calendar where he can own the sports calendar. It's going to be sooner than later. What do you think? Where is LeBron going? I got to still go with my gut instinct. It's got to be Golden State. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Next. Patrick Kane. Welcome back to Chicago. That's right. He's one of my favorite players. I know, even though I'm a Ranger fan, he kids me about that all the time. When I covered many games nationally for ESPN, he's like, Linda, what are you doing here? You're a Ranger fan. Patrick Kane is going back to Chicago. $8 million a year, 2-year deal, 37-year-old, future Hall of Famer, 3-time Stanley Cup winner, Conn Smythe winner, Hart Trophy winner, Calder Rookie of the Year winner. He's done it all. He's won it all. Part of the dynasty, finishing his career with the Chicago Blackhawks. I love this move. He could have gone to Buffalo, which is his hometown, but he chose Chicago, where he is also beloved, but even more so, obviously, because of the success that Patrick Kane brought to Chicago. This is so great for him, so great for the National Hockey League. I texted him today, congratulated him on it. He texted me back, thanks, Linda. He's just a great person. Texted me when I retired from ESPN. I'll tell you why this is great, besides obviously everything else about it. The obvious is that Connor Bedard, the 21-year-old, also a first overall pick, the Blackhawks selected a couple years ago. He needs this. And he actually obviously was very outspoken, hoping Patrick Kane would pick Chicago. Patrick Kane is going to make such an influence on the development of Connor Bedard. He's already good, Connor Bedard. With Patrick Kane there as a teammate, Connor Bedard, the sky's the limit for him. The only bad thing, Connor Bedard, he's hurt. He's going to come back from shoulder surgery, so he won't be in the lineup when they drop the puck on the upcoming season for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's expected to be back around November, but that game where Connor Bedard is on the same line with Patrick Kane and playing on the power play with Patrick Kane and Connor Bedard, that's going to be great. So I love that. I love that, Patrick Kane. I love that for the NHL. It's a perfect spot. Do you agree with me there? I don't know why you would disagree. But Buffalo Sabres would disagree, because Buffalo Sabre fans would, because they were hoping Patrick Kane would go there. All right, it's that time. We like to simply call it guest time. Yes, my guest. Last we've seen her, she is the host of FanDuel TV's NBA show called Run It Back. She's also part of the San Antonio Spurs broadcast team. But I know her from back in the day when she was with ESPN, when she was Sports Nation, if you ask me. Technically on her bio, it's co-hosted Sports Nation. She was Sports Nation. She put that show on the map. She also hosted NBA Countdown. She also hosted Get Up before Greedy hosted Get Up. Multi-talented. She radio, of course, on ESPN Radio and Sirius XM Radio. She is the wonderful Michelle Beadle. Promised, I am so excited to bring in my best buddy. I love her. She's legendary in my world and in your world as well. I can't get enough of Michelle Beadle. Beads, thanks for being a guest on the Linda Cohn show.
Yes, no, I'm stoked. I know you and I tried so hard to do anything.
Yes.
But now, you know what? I'll take this. I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah. And you've been a doll, an angel, because when you've had all your platforms and all your things, you've always invited me on. And I'm like, I remember. And also I have fun. And that's why I'm doing this.
I love that.
Beads, that's what we're about, right? I mean, when I first met you and you joined ESPN and ESPN Radio back in the day, it seems like a lifetime ago. I know, we'll get into it. But what I loved about you is just you're so real and genuine. And it was hard to find young women like yourself who were that way. And yeah, it kind of reminded me of myself. Yay. I'll be honest, a little narcissistic.
No, not at all. No, I don't think that's narcissistic at all. When you meet someone, you're like, oh, there's something here. This reminds me of me. I don't think that's bad. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Why do you think that's a good thing? And why do you think that's a big reason for your success?
I'll put it this way. I don't think, are we allowed to say asshole? I'm gonna say
yes,
asshole.
we can say the F word. I think
don't give me that free leash. Okay. No. No,
I'm a New York girl. You know it's coming out.
Do you know what it is? I don't think assholes look at someone and meet someone and go, reminds me of myself, because they're not. I don't think they're aware, right? But I think if you're someone who sort of conducted yourself in a good way, and you've made a great rep for yourself, right. I think seeing that is not a bad thing. So I'll take it. I take it as a compliment.
As you should. All right, before we get going, Beads, I mean, we got to go there. Your Spurs, my Knicks in 5. End of story. Your thoughts?
You know what? I wish we could. I went to Game 5. Man, it was a hell of a turnout for Knicks fans. It was loud in there. But I'll say this, I wish we could have gotten another game out of it. I didn't see us coming back from that at that point. Oh, good. We get dog coughs. But the funny thing about it is, I actually really like that Knicks team. Like
Mm.
I don't know anyone who wakes up and says I can't stand Jalen Brunson. I couldn't imagine feeling that way. I couldn't imagine Josh Hart, likable dude. Like it's a
Yep.
likable team. I think my issue that I started to run into was with fans, which
Yeah.
again, we've been doing this long enough.
Yep.
It's very rarely the team that we have problems with. It's the fans.
Yeah.
So
Beats
it's
a couple
okay.
of things.
Yeah,
Definitely great points you brought up. I always say that. You know how I love my teams, but 50% of the fan bases are morons.
for
But the
100%.
teams I
Yeah.
love
Yeah. Oh
because
no,
they
I get
just
it.
catch on later, right?
Well, you're also because you're a New Yorker and like it's the biggest market in the world. There's a sense of sort of we belong everywhere that comes with being a New Yorker, which I'm not even mad at. But sometimes when the teams are lousy and that still is there, the rest of us on the outside are like, nah, dude. But now you know what? The Knicks took 53 years of that and erased it, and now they're up at the top of the mountain. So it's like brand new rules starting next season, which I'm excited. If you're a Knicks fan, be excited because there's no reason why they couldn't do it again.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. But let me get back to you being at game 5. I'm sorry, I can't get
Oh
enough
my
of this,
God,
Beats.
it was good.
That was, what is disturbing? Again, I'm a Knicks were the first team I ever loved when I was
Yeah.
12 years old. Okay, so, but I was actually saddened for the Spurs faithful.
Mm,
They sold their tickets.
I
They
know.
lost faith. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong,
No,
but
I
I would
know.
be embarrassed. And if I were you, I'd be like, I'm really embarrassed by my fandom of these people who I thought I was a part of, and
Yeah.
they had no faith.
I'd be a hypocrite too if I didn't point it out because I've made fun of other fan bases when they do that. And doing it for game 5 just felt like we've all thrown in the towel, which was such a bummer.
Yeah,
And look, I get the finances of it all. You could sell literally tickets to one game and pay for all of next season. And so I understand that. Um, But it was such a bummer. It was, I'll say this. I had New York fans on one side and Spurs fans on the other. I also had some New York fans in front of me. I won't name any names, but it's certain
okay.
podcast hosts that I'm not a fan of.
All right.
Um,
All right. We'll get
and
into that.
the guys to my left were awesome. Like they were
Yeah.
like, this town has been so hospitable and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, we're for the most part, we're pretty good. But yeah, it was a bit of a bummer. It's a great learning experience for the team itself. Like that's a New York is one of what 2 or 3 teams in this league where any one of your home games can very much feel like an away game, and
Yep.
that's exactly what it felt like in that building. We luckily, my brother, his girlfriend, and my dad and I ducked out the second it ended, just so
Yeah.
we didn't have to be a part of sort of the celebration part. We make it to the parking lot and get out, and then yeah, it worked out perfectly. Because I'm not about to watch the celebration, y'all. You can have it.
Yeah. That reminds me of when my son Dan, who's now 30 years old, he's a Patriots fan, and I'm a Giants fan, as you know.
Yep.
And I'll never forget the second Giants Patriots Super Bowl. It was in Indianapolis. We were like in the top row of the RCA Dome at
Oh my
that
God.
time. The confetti falls. The Giants did it again against the Patriots. My son Dan, who was 16 at the time, Michelle, gets up. We're in a foreign city, Indianapolis. He goes, "Mom, I'm leaving. I can't watch this celebration." And I'm like,
Wow.
Dan,
Yep.
I'm a Giants fan. I must see it all. But of
Nope.
course, being a great mom first, I followed him out,
You
and we also
did?
beat the traffic. Yeah, I
I mean, I
missed
guess
the
at
actual
16.
celebration.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
young enough where you're like, I can't say like meet you at the car in a foreign place.
Totally.
So I get
Totally.
it. I
Like,
get
yeah,
it.
where's the car? That's
Yeah,
for another
exactly.
time because there was a time we went to a Dolphins Patriots game
Oh
at
no.
Foxborough. We left early and God was looking down on us and saying, "Don't ever do that again." It took us 45 minutes to find the car. I was being punished for leaving a sporting event early.
Oh,
True
you
story.
want to hear mine? So we didn't leave
Yes.
the game early, but we got out. We get out of the building. There's a lot, the traffic to get out of the parking lot is being guided by SAPD and the
Yeah.
sheriff's account. All of that's happening. They're everywhere. The lights are on. Some guy gets mad at my brother because he didn't let him in, even though we already let someone in. Gets out and punches the side of my brother's car and cuts my brother. So we ended up being later than everybody else leaving because we had to sit in the parking lot to press charges. I was like, you know what? Should have just stayed for the celebration.
Okay, first of all, was everyone okay after
Yeah,
this
no,
incident?
no, it was funny because first of all, my brother loves his car, so punching his car was not smart. But then
Oh,
once there
not
was
good.
blood, we enjoyed. I I have such a hot head that I'm in the back seat, but the child locks are on, so I can't get out, which is the best thing that could have happened to me because I was ready. But no, it was my brother was very cool, calm, and collected. Was like, yes, I would like to press charges. While this idiot sitting over there in handcuffs. I mean, this was a grown ass man, by the way. Like, who acts like that?
I
Psychopath.
mean, the universe again was speaking to you and
Yep.
saying, don't ever
You're
do that again.
God, you're the worst.
That's
Oh
crazy.
well.
Oh, well, you talked about lessons learned and Victor Wembanyama,
Mm.
freak of nature, so fun to watch. But honestly, Beads, I didn't like the way he acted after losses.
Yeah.
After I praised his greatness, how articulate he is and how, a leader he is and how the passion. What were your thoughts about being a diehard Spurs fan? And this is your present and future and how he reacted.
Unfortunately, I am wired that way. Like if I lose something, I'm a horribly bad loser about things. But I'd like to think at the ripe old age of 50, I've learned a little bit to just, it's fine. There'll be
Yeah.
a day. We'll do it tomorrow. And I think, what is he, 22 years old? Like there's a lot to learn. We've all seen the footage of him when he was 13, 14 years old playing
Yeah.
against Chet, and he got so mad that he is definitely wired in sort of that assassin, not to be messed with kind of mold of athlete that maybe we don't see as much of today, but we've certainly all saw it in the past in certain guys. And so I think he'll cool out a little bit. I think, being ahead of schedule, it probably all got to him. I mean, it was loud. Like the noise around him is so loud, and I think rightfully so. I mean, the expectations are through the roof. I think it's not a matter of if he ever wins; it's how many he's going to win. Like
Right.
it's a lot. I think he'll learn. I think he'll cool off. Look, I was kind of proud of him for even going up to New York. Was it last week for Fan Fest or Fanatics Fest or whatever?
Yeah.
Because that's hostile territory. And I know they paid him probably a pretty penny, but you still
Yes.
got to walk into that building. It's all New York.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to learn. I also kind of there's a heel, like he's got heel in him. He likes to smile. He likes to talk smack. I think as he gets stronger, people won't be able to sort of physically push him around as much. And I think that's going to be scary for the rest of the league, but he'll get it. He'll get it. I don't want him to ever be like a completely over the top, great, sport about everything. I think you do need to have a little ass. Like you need to be an asshole. And I think those are the best. Those are my favorite.
Yeah, and I don't think it was used to the New York media. Speaking of a-holes at times,
Yeah, no kidding. All the fans like waiting outside. Yeah, that's all new stuff. Like that's new for a lot of those kids, actually.
Yeah, no question. Who knows as we speak, but LeBron James,
Oh my God,
41 years young. What's in his head right now? What do you think's important to him? If you could read his mind when he makes this choice of where he's going to play next.
man, I know it's funny because I thought for sure the announcement was going to come like halftime of the World Cup final. I think, I think we did right.
Can't imagine why. You mean he would love attention?
What? Who, me? Look at me. No, I genuinely was surprised when the game, when the match came and went, and it was just like, oh, we got nothing. And so now we're all still waiting. I thought, well, he'll probably stay in LA because of comfort, right? Like I've reached that age now where for me to move somewhere that I don't necessarily love or even maybe like, it's going to be hard because I don't really want to do that. And it would have to be like to work with the perfect person or to sort of be around my friends. Like those would be the only ways that you could get me to kind of pick up everything and move it. So when he's like, I'm out, I don't want to be in LA anymore. That kind of threw me off. I'm not a believer in the Cleveland part of it all. I get the romance of it. I don't feel the romance of it, but I get it. I still think he wants to go to Golden State. I think he and Draymond are boys. I think the idea of him playing with Steph after what they did in the Olympics, like they looked like they had aged backwards 20 years and were having the times of their lives. And so for me, I think it's the Warriors. Doesn't mean they win a championship, but they do have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What's his goal? Does he want to win another championship? Does he want to finish where I started?
Yeah.
My gut has always told me Golden State because I want to believe he doesn't want to make it about him.
Interesting.
I want to believe that he wants to just have fun. Like me, I'm doing this show. Everyone thinks I should play tennis full time and that's the end of it and go off with Babs and that'll be the end. Goodbye. No, I want to do things for fun. I still want to whatever. And that's why I think like you,
I like that.
I think it would be great for the NBA if he goes with his buddies at Golden State. Now, if he pulls a fast one and says, you know what? Philadelphia, Rocky and Jaylen Brown, and they have enough, and I'll get the ball more, and
that feels different. That feels like a different motive if he were to do that. Which by the way, I can't visualize that either. Like maybe I'm just having a hard time visualizing anything but Golden State because all of a sudden you sort of share the meal. Like it's 3 Hall of Famers just hanging out.
Yeah,
and whatever else happens. And maybe Jimmy Butler. Like I don't know.
Hey, don't laugh. But you know what? I love Jimmy Butler. It's the closest that he would get, to when we joined the Miami Heat.
100%.
Right? And that worked out great, with the 2 titles. I gotta ask you this, because listen, when we used to work together and everything, I had never met a woman that loved wrestling as much as you.
Oh, they're out there.
You're laughing. But you gotta, the viewers gotta realize, I know wrestling has been around forever. I get it. But when I saw you so passionate about it, I'm like, I gotta see what's up. And now, Beads, it's bigger than ever. And what am I seeing? And please explain it to me. Explain it to the viewers. What's this with Tom Brady, Logan Paul, staged but not staged, this ongoing feud? What is in the head of the greatest of all time? And I'm talking, of course, Tom Brady.
Okay. So number one, that reminds me, and I'm going to text it to you when we're done here. I found this old picture that you, me, Andy Wall, it was like, I had rented that little house in Farmington, Connecticut, and we had like a WrestleMania night. And I remember we were all like dressed like Steve Austin. Like it made no sense. It made no sense. Anywho, I'm going to send that. But B, please. I think with Tom Brady, it's crazy to sort of watch this morphing of Tom Brady into whatever this is, right? Like he's physically changing his look. Like he looks completely different to me.
Yes.
During his football career, it was non-existent. Like he didn't have a life. And granted, he was married through a lot of that. And that's a different lifestyle altogether. But even when he wasn't married, it was quiet. Like nobody knew where Tom Brady was from day to day. Now I feel like
he was studying the playbook. That's all he did was study the playbook.
And eat avocado. What was it? He ate avocado ice cream and couldn't eat strawberries or something.
Right. Don't eat strawberries.
Ridiculous. Yeah. And now everything I know about Tom, it's too much. It's like every day there's more information. The WWE thing is crazy to me. Like, I don't know if his kids are into it and he's doing it for them. I don't know if we're witnessing like one of the longest, most stretched out midlife crises that we've never seen in our lives. But the Logan Paul of it all, it's smart. I mean, if that's where we're headed is some gimmick wrestling moment. I used to think Logan Paul, that was supposed to be a gimmick. And it turns out he makes a hell of a WWE wrestler, whether you like him or not. He's actually made to be a jackass and a heel. So it's weird. I mean, they did the eyes. They did like the Undertaker thing with Tom. Yeah. The whole thing was just, I think for football purists, it's a lot to swallow because you're just like, that's not my guy. Like, who is this guy? For the rest of us who are like, it's not that serious. Life's too short. It's just it's comical to me. He's everywhere.
He is everywhere. And listen, I think he's the greatest of all time. Sure. I love the guy. Everything he talks about sounds like right out of the Bible. I mean, you feel like going through a wall for him. And I think this hurts his legacy, Beads.
Interesting.
Is it silly? I think it's too much. I agree with you there. Everything's a bit too much. I think something like this, I know he wants to be like his buddy Gronk, right?
Oh, dear, no.
I know. He doesn't have to be. Why do you try to look within yourself and what you mean to the people and how inspirational you are and how you've done things no one has done before. I'm all about having fun, Beads, as you know. Yeah. But I cringe a little bit. And you brought up his whole role as the Undertaker. We also saw that video where he comes out of the crypt and, pops up. I think he would. Do you agree? He would make a great villain as opposed to a good guy if he did get into a match with Logan Paul or anybody, right? Wouldn't he play as the villain?
we hate, like, if you weren't a Pats fan
Yeah.
or for 10 minutes a Tampa fan, you hate him. Like most of us hate him. We're just like, oh, he's too perfect and he's this and that. And he does everything right. Nah, nah, nah. Like that's, I think, how a lot of us view Tom Brady. I am torn, right? Because I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Like, then there's another part of me, like that inner child, that's like, well, why not do whatever it is you can do? I mean, who gets these experiences handed to them if you're not Tom Brady? These are sort of like once in a lifetime things. Now, it's sort of up to the individual. Like, where do you draw the line, right? Like, I'm a big
Yeah.
believer in, for myself personally, I've always been like, man, there's a time where it's like you're oversaturating the market with your presence. Like, I feel
When
like,
was that? You never
no,
oversaturated.
well, no, because I, even at the height of, whatever, Sports Nation,
Yeah.
gave a shit, really. But like, personally, I was very self-conscious about that. That's a lot of me. Like, let's shut the hell up for about 5 minutes. But I don't think he has that. It's almost like he has reached the guy who doesn't say no to anything phase. That for me sometimes is where it gets a little like Kevin Hart. I love
Yeah.
Kevin Hart to a point.
Yes.
But then sometimes you're like, man, have you ever said no? Like, have you ever said no to anything? Because at some point something's got to be weird, and we're not there yet with old Tommy Boy. I think this is going to go on for quite some time. And what month are we in? End of summer, beginning.
July.
Yeah, and when is WrestleMania? Like April? Yeah, so have fun with that. It's going to go on for a while. Dear
Yeah,
Lord.
it's one of the mysteries of life. But yeah,
Yep.
God bless him. But I just don't agree with it. But it's his life. Producer, director, actor. Go for
Everything.
it, Tom.
Yeah.
But you're
Keep
killing
going.
Patriot fans with this. All right. The WNBA. Do you feel it gets in its own way sometimes?
Man, it does feel like that. I wish I knew, it's hard to, we never really been around the inception. And it's not the inception
Yeah.
because the league itself's been around for a while, but for a lot
Right.
of folks, it feels like it's 5 years old, right? Like they're like, this is a brand new league.
As soon as Caitlin Clark arrived, they
Yeah.
came on into the
A
picture.
lot of new fans. Sometimes I do because like the Caitlin Clark of it all is very interesting to me. I think the
Yeah.
best thing for me personally that I'm watching happening is that she's sort of showing who she is. Like she's not a kitty cat. Like she's not soft and cuddly and whatever.
Right.
She's kind of a dick. And like I think showing that to a lot of people, I think it actually personally helps. I think she was put in a weird predicament that made people feel like they had to. I mean, here's the thing about commenting on everything, right? You don't have to. Like we don't have to comment on everything. And it felt like people were entering the fray just to pick up the fight for her where they really didn't have a horse in the race. And I never really understood that. It had components of like sexism. There was a component of racism. There was like everything was sort of in this ugly ball. I think it will level out. I think her showing the world that she's not a soft, cuddly kitty cat. She doesn't need your help. She's kind of a dick on the floor. She yells at refs. Like she's not that girl. She's not that likable, sweet girl. Let her live, and that might just sort of even out after a while.
Yeah, for many of these people, they want to mold her like a piece of clay, and put her in their own puzzle piece. My whole thinking is like the people that rip her because she's whiny. Hello, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Sidney Crosby. What do they all do great? First of all, they're all the greatest. They're great, elite, amazing, goats, right? They all complain to the refs. They all work the refs. What do you think she does? Why does she get blamed for it? Why did they pile on her? So adding that's the exclamation point to everything you said, and just all the other stuff, the off the court stuff. The game is great. They used to make fun of, you remember Beads, they used to make fun of all the final score be 42 to 24. They're putting over 100 points a game. I mean, you can't rip the skill of these players anymore. But I will say this, there is no question. Okay, honestly, I'm not going to like lock into every WNBA game, but if I'm sitting there and I want to break from Netflix, worst neighbor ever, I'll turn and say, oh, look, the Indiana Fever are on. I'm stopping. I'm watching the Indiana Fever. Am I doing this with all due respect to, the Atlanta Dream? Sorry, I'm not on a regular basis, but I'm going to check in on with a Fever.
Yeah. It's funny you should say that too, because I have YouTube TV. And so, when you click on live and it's got you all the things and you just, I swear, I think the Fever are on there every day. Like, every day I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Like I kind of feel you on that. They are there. that's sort of how it works. Like you get a
Yeah,
superstar on your team. Look, there were more Spurs national games this year than the last 7 years combined. Like that's how
right.
it works. You get a star,
Exactly.
you
It's
get attention.
business.
Yeah, it's
It's
business.
business. Okay, before I let you get out of here, the
Mm.
people want to know.
Oh
I
dear.
know it's the summer. What's the best thing you've done so far this summer? And what is something you're looking forward to? And what's going on with Michelle Beadle?
What is the best thing I've done so far this
Yeah.
summer? That's a good question. Well, I did my 7th road trip back from LA to Texas. I put
Oh,
in like 20,000 driver miles by myself. Well, Winnie's with me. She's obviously
yeah,
a
of
navigator,
course.
obviously. But I'm about to do so part of the Winnie thing is she's like 20, 21 years old now. It's my dog for people who were like, who's that her kid?
No, is
No,
she really
kind of.
2021?
She's
No.
2021. Like doing the math and looking back, like I got her when she was 9-ish, and so we're at the 2021-ish phase. And so normally I would leave, right? I'd go overseas. I'd see a new country that I haven't seen yet. Blah blah blah. This year I was like, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to do
No.
the entire thing, American road trip. I rented a big old house on the Outer Banks of North Carolina starting next week. I'm going to go with my
Look
best
at
friend
you.
and her dog. We're going to go for like 3 weeks, Linda. And it's another one of these. Here's the best part about it. I don't know if I should even share this embarrassing
Go
factoid.
for it.
I bought a giant Rand McNally map. Yeah. And I'm horrible at maps, by the way. And what I'm
They
doing
still
is
exist? They
they
still
not
exist.
only do they exist, I even got the giant foldy one for when you're in the car. But the reason I did that is because I want to do a different route than what we did to South Carolina last summer. And I'm pinning all of the casinos between me and the Outer Banks. We're going to hit every single one, just 20 minutes each, boom, slot machines, see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to try to make myself be better about like content. But I
I
do
was
kind of want
just
to do it.
thinking that.
I
I was
know.
like, my
So
brain was
bad at it.
cooking for you. I was like, this would be a great content creator thing on
I know.
Instagram. You
But
know?
but you know how hard it is. You have such good intentions. I even bought like the dumb little and then by the time I do it, I'm like, shit, 2 weeks have gone by. I've done nothing. But I'm gonna
Well,
do it.
here's the thing. You know what? I struggled with that before I decided to do this show, just because I like to talk. But the thing is this. I mean, you're torn
I
between
know.
enjoying the moment,
Yes.
being in the present,
Yeah.
because you're busy reaching for your ring light,
Yeah. You're like,
and you're
oh, it
like,
looks
I miss
horrible.
the
Do it
moment.
again. Like you can't do that. So, no, I'm gonna. My best friend, she's going through sort of a change in life as well. Like she
Okay.
lost her husband, and so she's trying
Oh,
to kind of find her place. And so she's
yes.
kind of big on like she's going to be a yogi and da, da. So
Yeah.
it's like two 50-something year olds hitting the road and every casino along the way with their two old ass dogs. It's who
Well,
doesn't want to watch that?
I mean, that's great. First of all, you're my inspiration for another reason now, because you travel along with your dog. Me and Babs.
I
Babs is a
know.
nervous wreck.
Oh,
Babs is more of
really?
a nervous wreck than me. If
In the
something, God
car?
forbid, ever happened, she'd be like, "You're on your own. I'm out of here."
Oh no.
You know?
What in the car only or just like in
She
general?
loves the car,
Oh,
but
that's a good
any
thing.
loud noises, anything, run for your lives.
That's not what you want your guard dog, but I got
No,
one. By the way, I have
no.
one snoring underneath me. My brother's dog, he's exactly like that. Like God forbid I
So
clap all of a sudden.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So her anxiety, guess what? Gives me anxiety.
Absolutely.
My anxiety gives her anxiety.
Oh, it's
I mean,
bad.
it's crazy, but I'm going to break out of that shell. But
Yeah,
life with our dogs, time with our dogs
I know.
is so precious, because they're here such a short time, as you know,
Well,
and I know,
I thought that
and
till
I don't
she
want to
lived to
go
be.
anywhere.
I thought that till she's gonna outlive me. And then I'm like,
You know
I have
what?
to
I
redo my
do.
will.
Beads, I swear, when we reach a certain age, I think these stupid things. I go, here
Always.
I am thinking, how am I going to live without her? How's she going to live out without me? God
I mean,
forbid
she
something
knows.
happen to
I
me.
look at her sometimes. I'm like, bitch, you're gonna be rich one day because you're gonna outlive me, and I'm leaving it all to you. Like, so it's gonna
You're
be
going to be
a
like
little rich dog.
like these women like with
Yes,
cats, what they do with cats,
100. She's gonna earn.
Oh,
She's gonna own it all. My brother
that's
will.
great.
I love
Listen,
it.
I went to Wyoming for the first
Oh,
time, Jacksonville, Wyoming, but I only go for like
never
2 days.
been.
So here you are going, you're helping your friend during a tough
Yeah.
time. Um, I have a great friend. She's a doctor. She works for my brother. She's like half my age. The reason why we go together, I'm childish. I like things that 26-year-old women like.
Yep.
So there's this So first we went to see Matt Rife, the comedian, in
Oh, my
Billings,
Lord.
Montana.
Yeah.
That was a disappointment. Don't get me started.
Oh, not a fan, but I got you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And my
It's not for
daughter,
me.
Sammy, who's 35, she's like, I don't know why you like this guy. And of course, Sammy once again was accurate. He was a
Damn.
total, it was a
It's all
disaster.
crowd work. There's no actual comedy.
That's it. The
I know.
bigger buildings.
Yeah.
This was a 12,000 sold out. Poor people saved their money in Billings, Montana
Damn.
to
dude.
see this guy. He didn't know, he doesn't know how to, he's
doesn't
great
know-
on his little Instagram
Yeah.
videos that we love.
Which who isn't? That's what we
Yes.
curate that. No, I dated a comedian for like 2 years. I watched how hard he worked to come up with constantly new material and what have you. So when I saw the Rife stuff, I was like, that's not work. That's just showing up and mailing it in and just hoping the crowd plays along, which they do at this point because he's
Yeah.
insane. So yeah.
And I will say though, in small venues, he is quick with
Yeah.
a crowd. He's very smart that
Damn.
way, but it just, his choreographed skits for the bigger arenas just didn't fly.
Oof.
So anyway, in Wyoming, there's this 26-year-old singer-songwriter, country genre, just kind of reached out of that genre and collaborated with EDM guy Kygo. He's a DJ.
Yeah.
And his name's Max McNown. He's adorable. And I felt like a teenager. And they're in the front row. I'm definitely going to pop up.
No, you and I are the same. I'm 50 going on 22. Like I totally get it. I refuse the number. It doesn't mean anything at this point.
It doesn't. We're going backwards.
I mean, the skin sort of reflects it, but
we
we're
won't get
working on
into
all
that. There's lotion for that. I keep
so
ordering
much
on
lotion.
Instagram the 9,000 different types of lotion to get rid of that skin.
Every day I buy a new one like an idiot. Blessed.
All right, we got to leave it there on skin lotion. Beads, always amazing, always great. Anything coming up? Or are you just going to enjoy the rest of the summer? I mean, I'd be remiss.
We may or may not have a FanDuel season 5. Stay tuned because I'd certainly like
fingers
to know.
crossed. If that's what Michelle Beadle wants, that's what she will get.
Brings me back
because
to
you know
LA.
why? You're aligned with the universe. We've already established that.
Karma.
Thanks, Beads.
Thanks. You.
You could see it was a laugh a minute. I told you it was going to be one long laugh fest. Michelle Beadle's great. Hopefully we'll get her back every blue moon here on the Linda Cohn Show. I would look forward to it. All right. It's what you've been waiting for. It's time to bring in my good friend, Dominic D'Angelo, with fan questions. Dom, time to join this party. There he is.
And, what's up? How's it going? That was a great interview.
Wasn't it? I mean, I know, Dom, we were just going on and on. I couldn't stop, but it was funny. I mean, it sounds like I'm just saying that, but it was funny, right? I mean, you were entertained.
I was legitimately laughing backstage when you guys were recording that. So I really was.
Wait, but I got to tell you this. We were like, one thing we don't understand, and bad job by me, because I thought she would explain it. The second time I referred to it, I'm amazed and I'm knocking on wood about her dog being as old as this dog is. She mentioned it twice, 20, 21 years old.
My God, I could not believe when she said that. Like the new movie, The Odyssey, there's a story about a dog that old, legitimately in that. And I'm like, that's Greek mythology. It doesn't happen in every day. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was great. So God bless that dog.
Yeah.
And I still can't do the math because she said, well, I got her when she was 9. And I'm like, okay, wow. Anyway.
12 years.
I can't. Anyway. All right. Let's talk about fan questions. Dom, what do you got?
Questions for sure. Here's a good one here. This one was a kind of an interesting one, Linda.
Oh, interesting.
Who is more annoying with these drama skits, LeBron or Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, gosh. Put me on the spot here. LeBron or Aaron Rodgers, more annoying? Listen, I like both these guys. These guys are going into their respective Hall of Fames for obvious reasons. Their life off the field, off the court. LeBron, he's perfect off the court, right? Never got into any kind of trouble. He just likes talking about himself. He likes the world centered around him. That's the way that helps him. That motivates him. That inspires him. That's okay for LeBron James. We're used to it by now. The guy's 41 years old. Now, Aaron Rodgers, he can be, for some people, annoying and polarizing. And he can be, for some people, they think he's nuts. I definitely do not think he's nuts. I like a lot of what he says. He's so articulate. He believes, he has such passion for what he believes in, which I really admire. You don't have to agree with him. So more annoying, toss up. I mean, it just depends what annoys you more personally, not you, Dom, but people that are listening and watching. I'd have to say LeBron.
Yeah, it's a coin toss. I think Aaron Rodgers, as a Jets fan, I do not place any blame on Aaron Rodgers for the Jets'
Yeah.
folly. I think he was there to help the team. He legitimately wanted to help the team. His
Yeah.
teammates loved him. They loved
Yeah.
him. And like, it's just Woody Johnson's the owner. I think that's the big issue.
Yeah. It's so true. And, you know, we wish Aaron Rodgers the best. Glad he's coming back and he's sticking with the Steelers. You're in Pittsburgh right now. What's the vibe there about Aaron Rodgers coming back? You are in Pittsburgh.
I think a little disenchanted, to be honest.
Okay.
And I'm kind of surprised because they a lot of the Steelers fans want the younger quarterbacks like Will Howard or the gentleman they got from Penn State. His name escapes me right now, but they want them to just throw them to the wolves right then and there. Where I'm like, let Rodgers do this one more season. He's with Mike McCarthy. Just let it happen. You're gonna get a rookie QB next season. It's gonna happen. So I'm like, pump the brakes here, Pittsburgh. I mean, be a Jets fan for a little bit and see how you feel.
Right. You brought up the key. The key is back with Mike McCarthy. I'm so curious of how this is going to work out and if they can, you know, regain their magic together.
Yeah, I'd love to see Rodgers.
That's a great storyline in the NFL, those two back together. All right, next question.
Yeah, thank you, Raphael. Speaking of good storylines, this is an interesting one heading into MLB the next season. Jim in Coachella says, good afternoon, Linda. My question is, do you think there will be a work stoppage in Major League Baseball? If so, when?
All right, I hope not. Baseball has bigger problems. They already have problems and they're actually playing the game. They're losing support. They're losing fandom. People my age and older or only a little bit younger still love the game. It's a regional sport. Listen, I'm a hockey person first and foremost. You know what? I played the game. I watched what a work stoppage did for the National Hockey League many years ago. It destroyed them. It took them years to regain some kind of momentum, to build again the fandom. Fans were very bitter about it. And we've seen work stoppages in Major League Baseball, you know, ad nauseum. We've seen a lot of it. The collective bargaining agreement, you know, I had to look this up because this is not on the top of my head. Because like I told you, I'm like barely, it's sad. I mean, I realized like, you know, 3 days ago that the Red Sox were winning every game they played. You know, and but this CBA expires in December of this year. So nobody panic yet. We have some time. But, you know, the owners are tired of paying this big money. They want some kind of salary cap here. And of course, the Players Association wants none of that. But baseball players have been getting away with murder with their salaries for years and years and years. What they make is astronomical. I know they play 162 games, but what they make is astronomical because it's guaranteed. Ask any NFL player what they think about the salaries that baseball players get. So hopefully they can work out some kind of compromise where they're not stopping, where they don't have a major, you know, a stoppage in 2027. MLB has already put out, I think, the first few months of 2027, the schedule. So they're confident they are going to have a season and there won't be any work stoppage, but it will be a huge mistake for Major League Baseball. They're already losing popularity as we speak. And I know the diehards think I'm nuts, but it's true. The ratings show it. Unless your team, it's your team and they're winning, you don't care. The nation does not care unless their team is winning. Simple as that. It really is. It's disappointing. It's sad. Dom, you grew up in Pittsburgh there. You know, I'm a Met fan. It's not because those teams usually suck. It's just because it is what it is. It's regional. Right. It's a regional sport.
Very much so. We got a little bit of Bucko fever here, but the grand scheme of it all.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have overachieved this year. I have paid attention to that.
Yeah. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but we'll have to wait and see on that. All right, we'll hit it with this last question here. You talked about ESPN a little bit to open the show here. This is from Adam Hurley. Thank you for the question. He says, this question is for both of you. She meant you and Michelle Beadle, but she's not here right now. Did you get along with Screamin' A. Smith, meaning Steven?
Oh, Screaming A. Smith. Is that what he said? That's what
That's
Adam
what he
said.
said. That's what Adam said.
Yeah, I've always gotten along with Stephen A. I always have. You know, he's always been nice. Problem is, our paths lately haven't run with each other because I was in LA the last 7 or 8 years and he was everywhere else. And when he was in LA, when I saw him in LA, he was always nice. So he is one of the hardest working people at ESPN. I've been saying that for years and years and years. I don't think he says no to anything. I think he just, you know, some people think he likes to talk, he likes to be on the air, maybe so. But he's been doing his job. He's always says yes when he was asked to go on Sports Centers or any other show. So he's really a super hard worker, and he just never stops. And yes, the answer is Stephen A. and I definitely get along, and I admire him and I respect what he has accomplished in his career.
Yeah, he's a hustler, and you know that's what I give him credit for sure.
Yeah,
this whole ecoscape, especially today. Holy crap!
Yeah.
With YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, he's built what he has. He's built this following, and he's done it. You know, the guy, remember, he used to work for the Philadelphia Inquirer. He was a columnist, he was a writer, you know, and look what he's built, this empire. And kudos to Pat McAfee as well. You know, you either love him or you hate him. I know he's having a good time with his album coming out in August. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you follow Pat McAfee, he keeps posting about his album. But he doesn't care that you don't like him. But he built what he has. So remember that. I mean, look where you put the blame on. And don't be bitter, be better. Right, Dom? Better,
I like it.
not bitter.
It. That's it. What a good mantra to end of the show. You're like Jerry Springer with his final thought.
All right, don't compare me to Jerry Springer with my final thought, please. No. Please don't ever do that again. No.
You got it.
I don't think I have anything in common with him. But I'm glad he's still alive. He is still alive, right?
He's not.
He's not?
No.
Oh, see? You're too young to even care about. Well, may he rest in peace.
There we go.
That's what I'm saying. I can't. How do you even mention him?
I don't know. That's anytime a final thought happens, I like make the Jerry Springer.
I didn't even know he had something like that. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
It was like really emotional.
Don will edit this out for the re-airs.
Well, yes.
All right, let's put a cap on this show. Thank you guys again. Please, if you like what you watched, like what you saw, first of all, always appreciate that you're already subscribed, but spread the word. Let people know, like and subscribe. It's free to my channel at Linda Cohn Sports on YouTube. And thanks for being with me. Again, I love when you guys are part of my journey. And so I really do appreciate that. So we will put a bow on this one, and we will see you and talk to you again when the Linda Cohn Show returns on Monday. Have a good one.